Well, it's been a while since the KEV ratio has been relevant to one of my series, but it is relevant again to this one. And what's more, we've got a chance to actually be above it by the end of this episode. The season turnaround has begun. Hello and welcome to part 75 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we are away against Bury in League One and then at home against Plymouth in the Checkatrade Trophy. Because you know what? I wanted to show a game that we might actually be able to win, and Plymouth... actually, goodness me, I thought Plymouth weren't going to be that good. We'll show it anyway. We don't usually do Checkatrade Trophy. It will be a treat for you. Since you were last with me, we have picked up our first 3 league wins of the season. We beat Grimsby, we beat Fleetwood, we beat Carlisle. At that point, we were level with the KEV ratio, but we then went and lost to Wimbledon. So as it stands right now, we're still 23rd. But at least we're not Luton, who are 7 points behind us. We're only 2 points behind Exeter. 10 points from 11 matches. At this point, the KEV ratio would actually still leave us in the relegation zone. It is the easiest league in the world to be relegated from, with 4 places going down. So the KEV ratio might not even be enough this season, which is a terrifying thought. But if we win this game against Bury, we go above the ratio, and we find ourselves hopefully climbing out of the relegation zone. I think we're slowly starting to come back to life, and this is the team that has been doing it. We're back to the 4-3-1-2. We did experiment for a couple of games, but ultimately decided if we're going down, I want to go down swinging. We have suffered a few injuries, which are far from ideal. If we have a little look, poor old Sir Tom Elliott has probably injured his buttocks sitting on the bench. But Josh McDonald is injured, and Dan Fisher was injured. There you go. He's on the bench today. So Dan Fisher has been injured for a few games as well. So the comeback is on without our 2-star strikers, which I guess that's a positive if they come back in and are any good. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. So, the team for today's game. We've got Nadat in goal, a back four of Anderson, Laskowski, Sawyer and Ibrahim. Johnson, White and Skelton are in midfield, with Ball in behind, Lyons and Weaver. John Lyons is someone we signed in the summer. I don't know if I've introduced him to you yet. 2-star current ability, 4-star potentially. He's 24, signed from, he's been around a couple of teams in the Irish League and scoring lots of goals over there. So hopefully we'll continue to score lots of goals. Now he's playing in League One of English football. 3 goals from his first 4 starts isn't bad, really. So let's get into the game, and hopefully, get your fingers crossed, get everything crossed. We want to start battling our way out of the relegation zone and stick into that KEV ratio. If we get relegated whilst hitting the KEV ratio, I think it's just one of those times when circumstances are against us, and that could definitely be argued as a battle against relegation, which is all the board are looking for. It doesn't matter if we get relegated, as long as we look like we're putting up a fight. And I think if we hit the KEV ratio and still go down, then nobody could argue that we didn't put up a fight, because 99 seasons out of 100, the KEV ratio is plenty. That's all you need. Right, Lyons, back to White. Here we go. We're going to grab an early goal. Ibrahim crosses to Lyons, and that is a big miss. Heads over from, less than a yard away. To be fair, the keeper didn't get a hand to it, but that was mainly because it was so far over his head that even at full stretch he wouldn't have got there, and Ibrahim has let them in. And luckily, we get away with it, and Nadat doesn't have to make a save. Dan Fisher is sat there on the bench nursing his injury. He might well come on at some point during this game if I feel like we need him. I don't really want to risk further injuring him if we're doing all right, though. Weaver's in, and we've had a couple of early sighters. Both Lyons and Weaver have had clear-cut chances now that haven't forced a save out of the goalkeeper. So we're creating chances again, which is what we weren't really doing. For those first few games of the season, first couple of episodes of this season, we weren't looking like we were competitive. We're now starting to create chances again. The only problem is we don't have our lethal finishers up front tucking away those chances. But Lyons is in behind here, can't get the ball past the first man, and now Bury have the chance to break down this right-hand side. Is that Harry Anderson, formerly of Peterborough United, playing on the right wing for Bury? I imagine it probably is, as that is his position. He must be older than me at this point. In fact, I don't want to click on him, because if I click on him, then he's going to score a goal. We know how the rules work. I'll try and remember to look at him after the game for anyone else who's interested in former posh youth players who weren't ever really good enough to get into our team, which I recognise is probably quite a small niche audience. half an hour in, it's been a fairly even game. We're doing all right. Johnson plays it forward, I think, towards Lyons. Lyons is the one chasing it and almost... I mean, he put them under a little bit of pressure, but it's with Anderson again on this right-hand side for Berry, and it's a pull ball forward, but we clear it to absolutely nobody as well. This looks like a conference game at the moment. Both teams just kind of lumping the ball up in the vague direction of the opponent's goal, but that we're rarely finding our own team. Every ball forward is just being intercepted that both teams are playing. We're both being really poor. Lyons, infield to Ball, who plays a beautiful pass to Weaver, first time on his left foot, just sort of toe pokes it towards the corner of the goal, and this time their keeper does have to make a save. That's our third clear-cut chance of the game, and Laskowski gets onto the corner, heads it. I think it was going into the top corner from Laskowski, but Sawyer, risking an offside, but getting away with it, turns it into the opposite corner of the goal, foxing everybody. So the original header from Laskowski, I mean, it might have been going wide, but Sawyer did nip in ahead. And it is Harry Anderson. Hold on. Harry Anderson's injured. Joe Anderson is the one who's got to come off. Have the two Andersons injured each other? That's weird. I think Redhead can play left back. So Joe Anderson is injured. So both Andersons are injured. And they would have been playing against each other because right winger against left back. We've literally both had to take our Andersons off at the same time. There has been some kind of Anderson incident on the right-hand side of Berry's pitch. All the Andersons are injured. That's ridiculous. And at least we can look at Harry Anderson now because he can't score if he's gone off injured. So, I mean, that's mad. Both Andersons injured. It is Harry Anderson. He's only 29. Goodness me. That means he's like 12 in real life. We're only 8 years in the future. I realise it doesn't mean he's 12, but still. Right, as it stands, we are better than the KEV ratio, but still in the relegation zone. Level on points with Cambridge. We're going to have to outdo the KEV ratio this season, I think, unless there's just a lot of teams who are sort of relegation candidates who are having a reasonable start to the season, and it'll eventually settle down. We want a few more Lutons. Luton are doing us a proper solid at the moment by just being pathetic, and we need a couple more teams to just be a little bit more pathetic. That's what we're looking for. Right, Lions. Cross comes in towards not really anybody in particular, but Skelton picks it up on the edge there. It's the first time we've really seen anything of Skelton today. Plays it into Lions, and Lions makes it 2-0. It's an assist from Skelton, a goal from Lions, and finally, at the 5th time of asking with a clear-cut chance, one of our strikers tucks the ball away, and it is Lions again. So that's now 4 goals from 5 starts in English football for John Lyons. I mean, I know he's been a bit of a late starter, age 24. He's basically the granddad of the team coming in, age 24. It's very unusual for us to sign someone that old, but he is doing the business. He's scoring goals. He's come in as our 4th choice striker, and he's actually scoring goals. Right, Weaver's having a terrible game. Fisher's sat there on the bench. I don't really want to bring Fisher on if we don't need to. So we'll bring on Jed Hamill, who's an 18-year-old striker with 4.5-star potential. We signed him on a free from Newcastle in the summer. I've played him a couple of times now, but I mean he's not made the kind of impression on the team that Lyons has, coming straight in and scoring goals straight away. I mean, Lyons has basically stepped in as a direct Cedwyn Scott replacement. And by the way, as soon as McDonald got injured, I tried to sign Cedwyn Scott again. As soon as Fisher got injured, I tried to sign Cedwyn Scott again. That man will not discuss terms on a contract with us, despite the fact it's now October and he still hasn't found a club. He's going to end up retiring purely because he doesn't want to play for Nuneaton anymore, a club where he is an icon. I don't understand the logic. I know we had the disagreement where he wanted to get promoted and we only got promoted by the playoffs and he got in a huff about it, but for a man to end his career over that seems ridiculous. He's been in a grump for 2 years and now he's just going to never play football again purely because we finished 2nd rather than 1st and still got promoted. Hamill is in behind. Lyons is in the middle. Cross comes in. Lyons is there, but he can't get to it first. It falls to Skelton and he plays it back to White. White to Skelton to Hamill. Lovely football and ball. I mean, it's just over from quite a long way out. And we've managed to drop another position down the league. We're down to 22nd again now, despite the fact we're ahead of the KEV ratio. The KEV ratio is not going to be enough this year, everybody. Write that down now. We've got to better the KEV ratio. We're going to bring Squire Bill on for Johnson because Johnson has picked up a yellow card. We probably could have taken off Skelton for fitness reasons, but Skelton's running at a 9.0 in midfield, so that doesn't feel like the kind of guy I want to be taking off when we're trying to pick up what will be our 4th win in 6 games in the league. So after a really, really poor start, we're actually putting a decent run of form together. It shows how bad our start was that we're still in the relegation zone after 4 wins in 6 games. But we did lose the first 6 games, or didn't win the first 6 games anyway. So hopefully our next batch of 6 games, we can win more than half of them as well. And I think at that point, surely we start to find ourselves hovering in lower mid-table, which would be marvellous. They've got a goal back. I'm talking about this game as if it's already won and there's 5 minutes left and they've got a goal back. And we've been down this road before. We know how badly things can go. And Nadat could have done better with that. There's been some iffy, questionable goalkeeping today. Not from Nadat though. Nadat's been brilliant. I'm talking about the other guy. Nadat's a hero. Right, Redhead. All the way back to Robbie Nadat. There's a minute and a half left on the clock. Nadat is not in his area. Lumps the ball forward towards Squire Bill. We're back into this sort of end-to-end lumped balls forward, which has been the story of this entire game, really. Hamill can't get hold of the ball, and this is probably going to be the last chance for Bury. If they equalise here, it's going to be sickening. Sawyer heads clear. Ibrahim can only get it as far as a white shirt, though, and we're just lumping it forward again. We've got nobody forward. Ball gets hold of it. Hamill is clear. Can he score? He does not. 20 seconds left. We've still got the ball in their half. Hamill again with an opportunity to Lyons. That's a terrible shot from Lyons, who looks like he's picked up a knock. Hamill, and it's cleared. And there's... Right, blow the whistle now. Blow the whistle. I've only got bells. Blow the bells. Is that the end of the match? Is it the end of the match? Why is the match not ended? Lyons is in again. Another injury to another striker. We're constantly having strikers go down with injuries. It's mad. Come on, referee. 40 seconds over our allotted time now. Lyons to Ball. Hamill's clear again, but Ball's just going to keep on running. And I think that's that. That is that. We've won another match. Huzzah. Have we made it out of the relegation zone? Probably not. But let's not get bogged down in those kind of details. We haven't, but we are level on points with Cambridge. And that gap between us and bottom of the league is ever growing. Poor old Luton, look at the state of them. Already 9 points clear of safety after just 12 games. Wow. Right, let's go and play this Checkatrade Cup game, because everyone loves the Checkatrade Cup. Right, we've not gone full rotation for the Checkatrade Trophy? Cup? Does anyone care? But we have taken the opportunity to try a couple of different options in the defence. I think our defence is still our weakest area. So we are giving Craig Watts a debut in goal. This is the lad who's currently on loan to us from Burton. So he's going to play in goal. Hudson comes in at left back. Mole comes in at right back. And Burns comes in at centre back. So, I mean, a lot of these... Certainly the 3 who've entered the back 4 are all names that are familiar from the last season or 2 that have never really had extended runs in the team, or Mole did have an extended run and then kind of lost his place. But just trying a few different options, see if that as a 4 looks better than the 4 we've been using, and Watts might force his way into the reckoning ahead of Nadat. You never know. It's not likely. Robbie Nadat's a hero, plus he's our player. Why would I play a loanee ahead of my own player in goal? That would be silly. The absence of Joe Anderson. Joe Anderson's got out for a couple of weeks with a knock of some kind. I don't even remember what was wrong with him, but it wasn't like a long-term injury. I'm still baffled by the fact that the game managed to injure both Andersons, who were playing in direct opposition to each other at exactly the same time. They must have just collided with each other, which is brilliant. 2 Andersons collide, neither of them stand up. There's another Anderson, and he's injured. There's a conspiracy. Anderson, if your surname is Anderson, stop watching this video now. If you've made it this far, you are going to end up hurting yourself before the end of the video. So I strongly recommend any and all Andersons watching, just put the video down, come back tomorrow. It'll be non-league to legend tomorrow. You will be safe. Just steer clear of this save for a little while until you hear that you are fully clear of any danger. We need to see a fully fit Anderson playing in this save before we know it's safe for you to be a part of it. I hope all the Andersons have gone now. We can talk about them behind their back. Do you know anyone called Anderson? I think I only know one Anderson. They're a bit weird. Right, we've just gone 1-0 up through James Ball. It was a lovely finish as well. Mole over to Skelton. Skelton to Johnson. Johnson to... I mean, look at this. Just knocking it. We just sliced through them like a hot knife through butter. Which is good. 1-0. Top of our group at the moment. Tell me we're not going to have a run in this stupid competition. I guess we're one of the bigger teams in the group now. As a League One team. And I love the fact they're still geographically allocating those groups. Nuneaton, Chelsea, Plymouth and Shrewsbury. You couldn't get 4 clubs closer together. Right, 1-0 up at half-time. Surely we're not going to have an episode this season where we've managed to win both games in an episode, because I was pretty confident. Is that Jack Marriott playing for Plymouth on the wing? I realised I was mid-sentence and I've got myself distracted, but if the future of football really has Jack Marriott, that was Jack Marriott. I mean, if his future is really playing as a winger for Plymouth, I know even less about football than you think I already know. Because if anyone currently playing outside the Premier League is going to make it into the Premier League, it's going to be Jack Marriott. He is not going to be playing as a winger. He is never going to play for Plymouth. The idea of both of those is just crazy. For the last 20 minutes of this game, let's get Dan Fisher back into the team for his first appearance since his little injury. Hopefully he doesn't re-injure himself. Luckily his name isn't Anderson, so he's probably safe. And I mean, we could have played Sir Tom Elliott in this game. Oh no, he's injured as well, isn't he? Injuries are plenty at the moment. I think I did play Sir Tom in the first group game of the Checkatrade. I might even play him in every game he's fit for in this trophy. We can go and win this trophy with Sir Tom Elliott having one last match-winning performance at Wembley. I think that would be a beautiful way to end his Nuneaton career, because I think he is getting to the point where he's had enough. He's still under contract for another year, I think, after this one, but he's 32 now. Still got no interest in coaching, and he isn't going to sign a new contract. So when that contract is up, he will be leaving, maybe retiring, maybe moving back into the non-league to have one more season being a hero for somebody else. But it would be nice to give him one last run out at Wembley. So perhaps we should try and go and win this tournament. We've just beaten Plymouth, who are better than us. And that has been a remarkably successful episode. I can't believe the fact we've just picked up 2 wins. Premier League, here we come. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.